With the conclusion of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, I decided to go back and play Call of Duty World War II. And that is because I always loved this game. And I upload this game almost all the time on the channel. I always told you guys I love Call of Duty World War II. And that is because it's the honest to God truth. I really want to see, can I make any comparisons between Modern Warfare versus World War II? Because in my opinion, World War II on next-gen consoles, besides Modern Warfare Remastered, is probably the closest thing we're going to get to old-school Call of Duty. And I want you guys to listen to me for a minute. Bear with me. I know you guys may disagree. Feel free to let me know in the comment section below if you guys disagree or agree with me. But Call of Duty World War II, in my opinion, is the best Call of Duty we got on next-gen consoles. Alright, and that is because this Call of Duty reminds me of the old school games. And before you guys say I don't understand how this game reminds you of that, this game is absolute shit. This game was broken. This game maps were shit. Everything about this game was shit. The gunplay was shit. The gunfights were bullshit. Everything was bullshit. Before you guys hit me with all the bullshit hate comments about this game, bear with me for a minute. Because back in the older days, back in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, and even COD Ghost, they were broken. They were severely broken. And if you don't believe me, my OGs who remember me playing Black Ops 2 on the channel, they will tell you that the game is broken. And to this day, that game is still modded and hacked out. When the game was in its life cycle, people were doing prestige master duplication glitches. There were a lot of mods, hacks. We talking about instant built-in rapid fire on your controller. It was a lot of nonsense back in Black Ops 2, and it goes for the Modern Warfare series too. And when those games was in their life cycle, you guys, you know that they were broken. They were broken. Modern Warfare 2, they had one-man army. If I can remember, was it one-man army or the rocket launcher glitch or whatever? I can't even remember. Modern Warfare 3, you had a perk in that game that was severely broken that just caused people to crouch walk, and it was just not. It was not. Back then, it was a good experience because that's all we had. That's all we knew, and that's what made Call of Duty fun. That's what made Call of Duty fun. And if you guys don't believe me, a lot of pro players, a lot of good players out there, they'll tell you back then COD was broken and that's what made it fun. We had good maps. Those iconic maps back then, if they remaster and bring those maps back today, they would still feel right. They will play right because we're used to playing on those maps. And we got accustomed to those type of maps. And I decided to bring it on COD World War II because COD World War II reminds me of a classic Call of Duty, classic boots on the ground movement, dolphin dive, the bullshit gunfights. It all adds in together. And I wanted to make this little comparison to Modern Warfare, things that are similar and things that are not. Here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, it brings back that classic gun-on-gun play. Weapons actually have recoil, and you can feel it. They feel more heavy in your hand. They feel more to life. And, it feels like a boots on the ground Call of Duty. There are some elements in that game I disagree with, and, I just don't think those elements fit for Call of Duty, but we'll say that for another video. But in this video, I truly believe that Call of Duty World War II is the best Call of Duty we got on next-gen consoles, and that is because, one, like I said, it reminds you of classic Call of Duty, and two, the developers kept it real simple when creating this game. They didn't add anything new. They didn't add many new features. They didn't add that. They kept it old school. They kept it classic. They literally gave us what we wanted. The only thing that this game lacked were the maps. The maps in this game were not that great, but I can sure as hell tell you one damn thing. The maps on this game, excuse me fellas, oh my god, the maps in this game flowed with the actual gameplay, if that makes sense. I want you guys to seek that in for a moment. And this is one of the things that I find that Modern Warfare lack. The maps in Modern Warfare are not your traditional 3-lane maps. They're built like they were back in Modern Warfare 2. And those type of map designs don't work in Call of Duty in 2019. They just don't work. We have a new community. It's not like old school no more. We don't have people actually running around gunning. If people are given the tools to camp, then they're going to camp. Like we seen them camp in World War II in the back of the map. They didn't even leave their spawns. Like, if they're given the tools to camp, they're gonna camp. And I think that's what the developers are messing up at with the newer CODs. They're trying to make Call of Duty more tactical when Call of Duty has never been tactical. It's always been run and gun. Let's get a nuclear. Let's get these streets. That's all Call of Duty has always been. And I understand the new take that Infinity Ward is doing to Modern Warfare, but I just don't see a lot of players playing that game, especially when the game releases, because they don't like the new mechanics, they don't like the movement, and the maps aren't good. Now I can see if the maps were traditional 3-lane maps with this movement and these mechanics, hell, it may work. It may would have worked, but these new maps, they just do not flow with the movement. And it is one of the things that go back to Call of Duty World War II being the best COD on next-gen consoles. That's because Sledgehammer Games kept it simple. It feels like Call of Duty, and it plays like Call of Duty. It looks like Call of Duty. It doesn't look like a Battlefield game when you play it. It doesn't look like, it looks like Call of Duty. It reminds us of what was old, and that's what I liked about World War II. And not only that, it offered the ability to have a nuclear. It offered something to go for in this game. So when you're playing, you're stressing, you're struggling, and you're grinding, or you're doing good, or whatever, you know, at the back of your head, you can turn it around at any time and drop a nuclear. You have something to play for. In Modern Warfare, I'm not saying you don't, but Modern Warfare, it's going to be hard to get a nuclear in that game this year, fellas. And you guys know me. I mainly go for nuclears on my channel. I don't get them all the time, but that's what I mainly go for. And it's going to be hard to get a nuclear in that game because of the way the maps are designed. They're designed for you to get shot at 12 different angles. And I'm not lying. I'm so serious. If you guys don't believe me, you just wait till the next Modern Warfare video. My God, do you just wait. Now, in addition to this game brought in many new features. It brought headquarters in that kept the players together. It was a lot of things that this game did right, and I don't think it deserved the amount of hate it received. And you guys let me know in the comment section below, Call of Duty World War II was the best Call of Duty on next gen consoles. Do you guys disagree or agree? And we're talking about from a classical standpoint, not, you know, any boosts off the ground games. It's been your boy Wave Vibes. You guys stay humble, stay blessed.
Quite surprised, just one look into